Feeling lost in the gym jungle? Don't worry, I'm right there with you. Yeah, this is a Cyrex podcast where we navigate the fitness world together, ask all the embarrassing questions, and laugh at our own cluelessness. So join me as we learn, grow, and hopefully stop calling dumbbells barbells. Because, that made me weird. Yeah, let's dive in. Hey guys, welcome to the next episode of the podcast. So, today we're going to talk about the most often neglected muscle groups, part two. And today we're going to be talking about the calves and lower back, or calves, if you want to say it in an English accent. Oh God, that was terrible. So yeah, we're going to be talking about calves and lower back. So why these muscles are need to be trained and why these are usually often ignored by beginners while training. We're going to talk about all that because as trivial as these muscles might look like, they're not. They're actually super important, and I want to let you guys know about the roles, the crucial roles that these muscle groups play in assisting the bigger muscle groups that we train, that we usually focus on. So let's start with the calves. Why should I train calves? How are calves useful to us? So the calves are involved in any kind of activities that involve like walking, running, jumping, or any kind of leg movement. Your calves come into play during any kind of those movements. Your calves take over. There's just no leg movement where the calves do not act. So that is actually a very important reason why should be training them, because they are a secondary muscle group in especially training your how stronger calves can prevent injuries. That is another thing that I want to address, because as one ages, there is a possibility that one could, if they do not train their calves properly, develop a condition called the Achilles tendonitis. So it's a condition where your tendon, the rear side of your ankle, gets ruptured, it gets teared up a little bit, thereby weakening your ankle and hence making it difficult for you to walk anywhere you want. So we do not want that, and hence that's one of the reasons why one needs to train calves, to have stronger ankles, to have stronger mobility, and to avoid conditions like these to show up. So a little about how Achilles tendonitis shows up in people. That's because it usually occurs when there's a sudden increase in the amount or the intensity of the exercise. For instance, let's say you're working out your legs, it's leg day, and all of a sudden you're pushing like 60 kilos or 70 kilos, and your calves are not used to that kind of stress, right? So there's a possibility that you could strain your ankles, that you could stress your calves out too much, that they might give out more, they might give out sooner than you think, sooner than your quads or hamstrings or any of your other muscles. So that's as far as working out, but when let's say that you are performing your everyday activities, but you're not training your legs at all, especially not your calves, and you push something with, and the last thing that we want is our tendon to be tearing up. So in order to avoid those things, we gotta train those calves to prevent injuries and to these shitty conditions. And the third thing about calves, why one would want to train that, is because of, let's say, chicken legs. I mean, no one wants chicken legs. You don't want to bulk them upper body and the legs the size of a broomstick. Number three, in order to develop or build a proportionate body, you gotta train those calves, honey. So please do not ignore calves. And the next muscle group that we're going to be talking about is the lower back. So why should one train that? Okay, let's start with the most obvious thing that we see on. Yeah, it's actually kind of alarming. What was the pain that usually older people used to feel in their lives around, let's say, around the age of like 40, 50, are being encountered in people, including myself. Yeah, who are in a much lesser age group, around like 20, 30. We're like so young and we still develop like the so, in order to avoid that, you need a stronger lower back to avoid lower back pain. And in order to paint you a scary picture, throw in hernia too. So, we need to avoid these at all costs. And in order to do that, we need to train our lower back. And if you're thinking about, is it hard to train these two muscles groups? It's not. It's so easy. And I'm going to tell you in a few minutes how we're going to attack those two muscles. And the next reason that we're going to want to train our lower back is to improve your core strength. And by core, I mean your abs. Don't worry, they're there. If it's okay if you can't feel them now, but yeah, they're there. So, the complementary muscle on the front side of your body to the lower back is your core. So your core is like exactly opposite on the body, right? So you wanna develop a stronger back so that you could develop a stabilized core. And you've got to train the core as well. Just because you train your back doesn't mean that you automatically get to develop core strength. So you got to train the core too, but training your lower back helps you build core strength. It acts as an extra assist, let's say. And your lower back also supports your spine. So in order to for your spine to not break under, let's say, let's hope to God those circumstances do not come in our life situations. So we need to increase our lower back strength. And number three is to maintain good posture. So we don't want anything like that, right? And for your neck too. So in order to in order for all these reasons, for core stability, you're supporting your spine to maintain good posture, to prevent injuries, and lastly, to improve your performance in other exercises, the ones that target your bigger muscle groups like squats, deadlifts. Yeah, and those are the exercises where your lower back comes into action, and that you would find that if you'd ever perform these exercises or if you're ever planning to do these exercises in the near future, your lower back might give out sooner than the main muscle group that you're targeting with the exercise that you perform. And that's okay because we're not used to performing lower back exercises. So in order to, so that we need to do so these are all the reasons why one should train the lower back and their calves. So moving on, what exercises can one choose to train these two things? For calf raises, let's say there's like literally one exercise, and they're called calf raises. So basically, what you do in this exercise is that you place your forefoot, the front half of your foot that's towards your finger, that's close to your toes, on a support. You support the forefoot and then lift your rear foot up and lower it back down. So it's like raising and lowering back down. So that's like literally the only way how you can train your calves using your ankle joint. So they're called calf raises, and these can be performed in three ways. So usually 99% of the gyms have a standing calf raise machine or a seated calf raise machine. In the standing calf raise machine, as the name suggests, you stand and then perform the calf raises by supporting your forefoot. And in the seated calf raise machine, you do the same thing except that you're seated. And if you cannot find these two machines, either of these two machines in your gym, it's totally fine, especially if you're starting out, because we can do that unilaterally as well. We can perform this exercise one leg at a time. So what you're going to want to do is, take like a plank or a bench that is at a close to the floor, that is not too high, and position both of your legs while you're starting out. Let's start with both legs because that would be easier. Position both of your legs, support your forefoot, and your rear foot should be hanging in the air a little bit, and then raise and lower it. Yeah, do it as slow as possible. Like I always say, do it slow. Slow is good. And pay attention to the form and pay attention to the speed at which you're doing. Pay attention to the muscles working. And some people might want to choose the standing calf raises over the seated calf raises because standing calf raises may feel more effective when targeting the entire calf muscle, and that's good. But on the other hand, seated calf raises can be easier on knees because usually when people would like to train, what is the ideal time during a workout session to train is uh, after you train all the muscles, after you do all the big things, lifts or squats, we throw in calf raises in the end because they're kind of a small muscle, comparatively small muscle group, and we're going to want to target it. That's about it. So calf raises, you can do it either standing or seated, or you could do them, one leg at a time unilaterally, or in other words, single leg calf raises. Let's move on to lower back. So the one exercise that I really love for training lower back, which I still do to this day, is called hyper extensions or back extensions. So how does one do back extensions? In some might prefer to call it hyper extensions. So in this exercise, what one really does is that you get on a bench, an incline bench, support the front side of your legs, support your quads, and then maintain a straight back, keep your spine straight, and then lower your upper half of the body, focusing on your lower back, and then slowly rise back up. That's literally it. You lower the upper body, and then raise back up, thereby working out your lower back. That's it. And I will post regarding this about how one of these inclined benches would look like and how one can train effectively. And I will keep you posted. So make sure to follow me on Instagram. The handle is Cyrax Fit and it's on the description. Please check it out. And so we've covered why one should train calves and lower back and the exercises that you can choose to train them. And moving on to how we can train them effectively. When can one do these exercises? So we performed or trained during the leg day or pull day. So for those of you who are not familiar with these two terms, there's nothing fancy. So I follow this workout split called the push-pull legs routine, where on push day you train the chest, shoulder, and the triceps. On the pull day you train your entire back and biceps. And on the leg day you train all the leg muscles. That's essentially it. So like I said, lower back can be trained either during leg day or pull day. I find training lower back during the leg day to be more convenient. But if you want to do that during pull day, that's totally fine. As long as back extensions for this example, as long as you do that, just do that, okay? And calves is obviously a leg muscle, so the best day to work that out is the leg day. Duh. And ideally, I would recommend or I would suggest that to train these two at least 1 to 2 times a week. Don't train too much because they're comparatively small muscle groups and they could cause the most pain if you train them with improper form or if you mess the exercise up a little bit. So be careful. Start with 1 to 2 times a week, and that's more than enough. Okay, so let's move on to how many sets and how many reps one can perform for these two exercises. So perform about 2 to 3 sets of, let's say, 10 to 15 repetitions. And the reason certified trainers, they recommend that this range is because it's realistic. So start with 10 to 15 and see to that you perform the exercise, and like I always say, slowly and maintain proper form in every rep, starting from rep 1 to the very last rep, which at which you fail, like almost fail, don't like completely. You should be able to move a little bit. Do not train completely failure, train close to failure, like 90%. As beginners, it might be difficult to guess at what point our body would give out. We might want to stop at the first point where we feel pain. And trust me, that's not when you want to give up. Just do like 1 or 2 more reps from there. Because trust me, I mean, it might look like you might want to quit right then and there, but you can do 1 or 2 more. You just gotta believe in yourself. If there's too much pain, please stop. Okay, do not take it too far. If you're anxious about if your body would be able to take it or not, ask someone at the gym. Ask a trainer to stand right beside you to support you if God forbid should something go wrong. So do not help and see to that you perform at least 10 to 15 reps and train close to failure. Don't overtrain as well. 10 to 15 is a good number to start with. And how can one progress with these exercises? How can you overload? How can you increase the weights? Is probably the next question on your mind. And let's start with the calf raises. So, like I said, 99% of the gyms usually have the calf raise machines, and it would be easy for you to plug the weights on both sides and gradually increase the load. Since the calves are a comparatively smaller muscle group, you might want to watch out for the weights that you put on because do not go too much. For starters, please do not add any weights when you're doing calf raises for the first time because because the ankle joint is relatively fragile and you might want to wake that up a little bit without putting on any weights and then warming it up a little bit before you actually put on weights and stress it out. So it's totally fine if your body cannot handle it at first. You're gonna get stronger inevitably. That's going to happen if there's no weight on the machine. So when you're comfortable, when you get like super comfortable without performing it with any weights, start while working them out. Put on small weights. Like in my gym, it's 2.5 kilo weights are the smallest ones. So I put them on initially, and then I start working. So when I find them it's too easy, add another 2.5 kilo on the other side as well. So that's how you progress. You increase them gradually. Don't increase them too much at a time. Please pay attention to this. Do not ignore this. And moving on to how one can overload the exercise. You would not be able to overload this exercise. Or at least I haven't been able to do that for the past many months. But I did find my back strength to be have significantly improved over the course of this whole time. Because apparently you do not need to overload at all to improve lower back strength. Because I cannot exactly get behind the science of this because you're stressing the back muscle out. Like if you're really stressing it out, focusing on the form, focusing on the pace at which you're performing the exercise, your muscles are gonna get torn, they're gonna get rebuilt back up, and you're gonna get stronger. And that's what we want, right? So please focus on that. It's totally fine if you cannot weight at the moment. Just do the hyperextensions or the back extensions without any weights. Lower yourself back, lower your upper body to down as much as possible, and then raise back up, focusing on lower back. That's it. That's pretty much it. If you really want to know how to do hyperextensions the right way, just get on YouTube, Google hyperextensions, and make sure to add the words like simple as clear. I will try to post some content. I will definitely post content regarding this so that it's easy for you guys to understand how to perform these exercises, because these, uh, I do not want to keep saying this again and again, but these are important. It's really, really important that you pay attention to the form and the pace, over the weight that you're lifting, especially when this exercise is concerned. Okay, so when can you train these two exercises? Like, let's say that you're performing both of these exercises during the leg day, like I do. So, make sure to warm up before the start of before starting any of your exercises that you have planned for that day. Start with like a few dynamic stretches, start with a little bit of cardio, just so you awaken those muscles. So as to when you can do these exercises during a particular day, save them for the last. So I could give you an example as to how my workout plan looks like. So I usually go for two compound exercises, or one compound and one isolation exercise. I'll talk about this in the next episode, what compound and isolation exercise mean. For instance, I go for leg press as my first exercise and deadlifts as the second exercise, so that I'll be working out the quads and the hams right after. And after these two exercises, I do perform the back extensions and at last the calf raise. So save the back extensions and the calf raise exercises towards the last, because there's relatively small muscle groups and you do not have to stress your body that much, right? So, and besides, these two muscle groups would already have been activated a little bit when you perform the exercises that target the bigger groups, like you're going towards the end of your training. So calves are already a bit tired after the leg exercises, so lighter sets at the end can be effective. And you can do that at the end of pull day. So, lower back exercises can be done at the end of pull day, but I do them after deadlifts during the leg day races. So that's about it. So, and lastly, this is the one thing that I want to stress a lot, because please pay attention to your body. This is something that even like pro bodybuilders and the pro athletes, they struggle to find, because you never know when your body's gonna give out. You might be feeling like you could conquer the world. This literally happened to me this week, because I felt like I could train like all 6 days this week, because I wasn't able to work out effectively the past week. So you don't know when your body might give out. It comes to your daily activities, and everyone's got a lot of problems going on. So I don't know that, and perhaps you might not even expect what you're going to be doing on a particular day. Some unexpected things might come up. So listen to your body. If you feel like you need rest, and if you feel a lot of pain, it's okay to take rest and avoid overtraining to prevent fatigues or injuries. So take a day off and then go the next day to the gym and make sure to train these two at least 1 to 2 times. Listen to your body and do not overtrain. It's fine. If the progress is slow. As long as there's progress, as long as you're doing it right, you're better than 99% of the world out there who do not do anything about their body, who do not pay attention to their health. The very fact that you're stepping inside the gym, or even you're performing exercises at your home, just shows that you care about your health and that you're better than you think. You're stronger than you think. Do not forget that. If you ever feel depressed or unmotivated, please remember this. You're better than you think. You're stronger than you think. And just say these two to yourself, because I usually get depressed a lot. So I take a minute to myself just to think of all the accomplishments that I did. Let's say let's say everything that I've accomplished with respect to fitness in my life. So yeah, and that just gets me in the mood. If I could do all that, why can't I do it? Why can't I train myself today? So that's all I say to myself, and I really recommend that you do it to yourself as well, because as beginners, it can be quite intimidating to get oneself motivated and to pay attention to all these little things. But it's fine. It's okay if you train only like 1 to 2 exercises, if you do only like 1 to 2 exercise a day, because still better than zero. Remember that, okay? That's it for today, guys. So we talked about the often ignored muscle groups like calves, lower back, forearms, wrists in the past 2 episodes. If you want to know about how to train forearms and wrists, and if you're just tuning into this episode, please check out my previous episode on wrists and forearms and how to train them. And we talked about what exercises one could perform, how to train them effectively, and when can one train them into into their workouts. So thank you so much for listening. I would really love it if you could give me any kind of feedback as to how I can improve on my delivery, on what kind of content that I can you would like me to give you the to tell you what I know, how you would like to talk to me. Just any kind of feedback is appreciated. Just leave them in the comments or DM in the description. Check them out, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for listening. And if possible, please tell one other person, or please post it to your story, or that you've learned something out of this podcast, out of this episode, out of anything you listened to so far.